You guys didn't tell me seeing these ponies crash out this week would have tasted so sweet. I mean, I tasted spice, I tasted soy.
A little hint of what?
A little hint of spiciness, like a little hint of soy sauce, a little hint of the tomato, a little hint of the spice.
Tomato and ramen?
Yeah, it actually has like a little hint of tomato.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What is a hint?
I don't even know. It just sounds like a good word.
Stall me out, man, stall me out. I may not know what a hint is, but I do know what salt is. Yes, these ponies this week was crashing out harder than this guy.
Can't take it! I'm not afraid to take a stand! Everybody, come take my hand, this heart will break together! Look at the stars!
No one is taking your hand, ponies. You guys are weird. You see, when PlayStation would have announced that they were making these live services games, these ponies thought that Sony would have excelled when it comes to live services games. Yes, they said Sony don't miss. They said, wow, Sony is doing so well. They're selling so many consoles. They're selling so many services. I mean, this is what the PlayStation community was saying. I mean, these guys were so happy. Their soul was glowing.
Easy as 1, 2, 3.
Just let your soul glow. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul glow. Feeling oh so silky smooth. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul glow.
I told you guys this was a sickness, but all of that joy, all of that excitement turned to sorrow this week because although Concord failed, there were a lot of ponies, hopeful that Sony together with $4 billion Bungie could have made the rest of games as a service successful for the platform. These PlayStation fans were very hopeful that they were getting some bangers in the near future. Well, it just so happened that these bangers started to bang back. Because things are looking grim when it comes to the live service push by Sony. We will look at that. We will see how it is that not much persons are excited for PlayStation Plus. I mean, there are some very interesting numbers showing how many PlayStation fans are excited for PlayStation Plus. And we'll also see how Bungie is a thief. Bungie is a swindler. We will see how in today's video. So sit back, relax. Let's get it.
This is a sickness!
Let's get it. So before we continue the video, guys, we are on the road to 5,000 subscribers. Do me a favor, if this type of content interests you, hit that like and subscribe button. It's free. It takes nothing to do. It's right there. Click it. Now, when you do that, of course, you will be benefiting. You are getting some of the best Xbox content. I'll keep you up to date with everything Xbox. Of course, we throw in some Nintendo here and there. And you know that. We specialize in the Sony Pony Salt. So hit that subscribe button today for more news and more salt. Let's first talk about the narrative that the PlayStation guys, the ponies, have been trying to push for some years now. That narrative is that they are saying that Microsoft Xbox cannot manage the studios that they have that produce the games, their first-party games. This was the foolish narratives that they were trying to push. Now, these guys were so adamant on pushing this narrative that Jimmy Neutron would have unearthed some old talking points by old ponies back in the day about Microsoft could not manage the studios that they have. Listen to this, idiotic take by Jimmy Neutron.
Now more than ever, it is clear that Microsoft needs oversight engagement. I would say they need better oversight engagement, but it seems non-existent. In the wake of The Last of Us Faction 2 news, I can't help but think that Microsoft needs a Bungie.
God, it's the clown again. Oh, why is it always the clown? I mean, I knew it was gonna be the clown. We all knew it was gonna be the clown sooner or later.
The same Bungie that Sony admittedly overpaid for $4 billion. Is that Bungie you're talking about? The same Bungie that had a part to play in greenlighting Concord, the ET of this generation? Are you talking about the same Bungie that Sony themselves said that they are not making or producing enough money for the company? That Bungie?
A studio that understands game development, that can be the muscle to walk in the room and do rigorous oversight from very early on to gauge if a project's good, if it's coming along. Do you have buy-in with your developers? Do you have good vision? Is the leadership properly communicating vision to your developers? Do you know how in those crime dramas where they separate people and they ask them questions to get the story straight? Why not do that? All right, leadership, what's the vision for this game? Great, thank you. Then go to the developers. What's the vision for this game? Real easy to see if there's clear vision transfer, because that's one of the primary means of excellent project management, because it sets the trajectory for what you're making. What's the goal of this game? What do you need to achieve the goal? Oh, you're building a multiplayer game and you don't have confidence you can build it? Oh, and you don't have enough staff to do it? If you don't have oversight engagement, you'll never find these things out until it's too late.
Yes, a lot of PlayStation fans agreed with Jimmy here when he made that statement. All of them were saying that Xbox could not manage their studios. Well, guess what, guys? Guess what? Everything has come full circle, because the same thing that Jimmy was complaining about, it is happening with Sony. Yes, but now Jimmy is radio silent. Yes, radio silent as the ship begins to sink with Sony's with these GAAS games. Now the first domino to fall was Concord. Concord was the biggest flop in gaming history, and that was led by a PlayStation studio. That was also guided by another PlayStation studio that they bought, which was Bungie, but yet it failed. But guess what? That is not it. We also are seeing currently that Bungie, yes, the developers of Marathon, their morals are low. You know why it's low? Because when they gave gamers this game to test, everyone got violent diarrhea, everyone was vomiting. They could not stand the sight of Marathon. Yes, they got food poisoning, and guess what? They didn't even eat. That is why right now in Bungie, morals are low. But that's not the end of it, guys. Now we are seeing this. The Fear Games developer, Jade Raymond, the head. I mean, if you'd cut off the head of a chicken, how could the chicken cluck? Look at this.
Jade Raymond has left Haven Studios, the PlayStation-owned studio she founded. Veteran producer Jade Raymond has left Haven Studios, the company she founded in 2021, according to a new report by Bloomberg. Raymond, who rose to prominence after producing Assassin's Creed and executive producing Assassin's Creed 2. Assassin's Creed, Bloodlines and Watch Dogs has left her studio, which is still in the process of developing online shooter fair games. Although a reason wasn't given for Raymond's departure, the report cites sources who note that an external test of fair games took place several weeks ago, and that some developers were concerned about how it was received.
Let me translate in other words what they were saying. They were saying that the game was trash. Just like Concord like it, it was trash. Just like how the guys are feeling there with Marathon, it's trash. And guess what? Some ponies ain't having it. Yes, some ponies are just fed up of Sony and what they're doing.
We got PlayStation gamers that enjoy defending Sony than actually enjoying the PlayStation console. Today, we had the announcement Jade Raymond left her studio. The studio that's making Fair Games, and now rumors has it that Fair Games is in trouble, whatever. It's not looking good for the game. Right? Another live service issue. This gen, PlayStation's live service strategy is an abysmal flop. But when you look at the mistakes that PlayStation had, the biggest is the live service strategy. You lost more. We lost more from the strategy than gained. Completely. We only gained Helldivers 2. That is it. Everything else is an L.
Yes, these PlayStation gamers was crashing out this week. I mean, they were so frustrated that nearly every games as a service was a big steaming bowl of trash. But it didn't end there. The discussion continued among the ponies. Listen.
You, P-Rock, as we go into the last 3.5 years of this generation, think that the Sony, because we all have short-term memory, and you remember this, P-Rock, from last generation, right? The Sony that everyone talks about with PS4 was hot. That was the second half. This is the second half. And Sony literally...
So Mooch is trying to put Puerto Rock at ease here, saying, don't worry. Remember the PlayStation 4 days. PlayStation 4 only picked up at the later half. And now PlayStation 5 is at the later half. So we can expect all the hot bangers to come. This is what Mooch is saying here.
Even said in their quarter four reports that they expect their IP and software to really blow up over the next year and then leading forward. So, P-Rock, let me ask you a question. How do you look at, as a PlayStation 5 Pro owner, how do you look at the next 3.5 years as we go into as we enter the PS6 era? Are you happy, not happy, pissed off, or do you see promise?
No, as long as the game's released, of course we'll be happy. But the game's got to release. Right now, it's just empty promises. You know what I'm saying? As long as the game's released, of course. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Just get these games out there.
Yeah,
get them
I agree.
And stuff, right?
I agree.
But it's going to be a problem if these games, when they finally release, right? If some of them are cross-gen games for the PS6, I want to play it on the PS6, but then I'm going to be like, man, this sucks that I didn't get to use my PS5 Pro. So at that point, I will be hesitant to support any mid-gen refresh.
Gotcha.
So what Puerto Rock just did there was showed that Phil Spencer and the marketing team there at Xbox was right. They said there was no need to bring out a mid-generation refresh. And, you know, that is what Puerto Rock is just saying. If there is no games that are exclusive for the PlayStation 5 Pro or nothing that utilizes the power of the PlayStation 5 Pro, then guess what? You guys are screwed. You guys would have bought a mid-generation refresh, and guess what? You guys wouldn't be using it, because if that same game comes out for the PlayStation 6, you guys would buy the PlayStation 6 to play that same game.
You know what I'm saying? This goes back to a bigger conversation I had on my podcast. You know, we had this many times. I think you might even, when you were on the podcast, you were probably even a part of the conversation. I said there's a math problem that's happening in the industry, right? If you're a platform provider, right? If you create consoles, right? Especially, and to be honest, I think this is pretty much an exclusive PlayStation, you know, because who knows what Xbox is going to do. But Sony definitely has a math problem. They have consoles, and if they're still sticking with this 7 to 8 year generation, quote unquote, yet games are taking 5 to 6 years to make, that's not enough games for that studio per generation. Because at best, you might get 2 games at best, and that's assuming they launch a game at the beginning of the gen, at launch, which will most likely be a cross-gen game. Then they start working on the second game, and it comes out 5-6 years later, almost towards the end of the gen. That's your best case scenario for a studio. 2 games. One full game for the console and 1 cross-gen game. Like Gorilla. Literally.
Well, let me. So listen, because
that's terrible.
So P-Rock.
So I'm advocating. This is what I'm advocating. You got to extend the gen. We can't have these 7-year gens no more. You just can't. If games are taking 5-6 years to make, you can't have 7-year. Let me put it this way: Mark Cerny produced more new hardware than Naughty Dog's producing new games.
Damn. I'm sorry.
Yes, Sony is pumping out more hardware for these ponies to buy compared to games for they to play. Isn't that something? But there's something else that is troubling. You see, Sony is telling all their devs this.
Corruption is not bad.
I beg your pardon?
Corruption is only bad if I'm not involved.
I beg your pardon? Yes.
But if I'm part of that corruption, I'll defend it.
Sony is wilding out here, man. Sony is wilding out here. You see, it's been reported that Bungie is stealing art from artists. Yes, listen to this article.
Bungie caught stealing artwork again. An artist has come forward saying Bungie used her artwork without permission in Marathon. Bungie has issued a statement on social media saying it is investigating how unauthorized artwork appeared in the closed alpha test of its PvPV shooter Marathon. Earlier this week, Scottish artist Fern Hook posted on social media that her work had appeared in the Marathon alpha without her knowledge or permission. Its environments are covered with assets lifted from poster designs I made in 2017. Hook wrote on X, in an interview with the Washington Post, Fern says she was suspicious that her art may have been used without her permission when Bungie first revealed the game in 2023. In her thread, Fern posted side-by-side comparisons of her work and what appears in Marathon. She also made a post on X in 2024 saying that she hit a reference to the Control+Alt+Del webcomic Loss in her designs. A year later, a player posted a screenshot from the game that includes a coded reference to the comic. Bungie says that it was made aware of the issue and determined the art team did not know the artwork was stolen and that a former employee was responsible for adding the assets. The studio also said it reached out to Fern to discuss the matter and that it is committed to doing right by the artist. This is not the first time an artist's work has been used for a Bungie product without their permission. In 2024, Bungie agreed to compensate the artist Tofu Rabbit after she discovered that the design for a Destiny 2 themed Nerf gun was ripped directly from her fan art. Bungie has also been accused of using other creators' Destiny 2 fan art for references and cutscenes without permission. Bungie says it's reviewing its in-game assets, especially those done by former employees, to ensure this won't happen again, or again, or again.
So it seems like Bungie creative spirit, yes, Bungie innovation is all dried up because they are now stealing art, stealing images from offline. Wow. And notice at the beginning of the article they said again, so it's not the first time Bungie was caught stealing art from, different artists and just put them in their games. Why? Because these guys right now at Bungie is in a creative rut. But let me hear what you thought about everything that was said in this video. What do you think about, Sony live service games? Are they killing it? And what do you think about Sony stealing from artists? Let me know in the comment sections below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.